You did everything right after a recent accident. You called the police, you took all the photos, you got them to do an accident report, and now you have that report and no insurance information for the at fault driver. Today, we'll talk about how to handle this. Good morning, everybody. It's Jobeth Bowers, your accident and injury attorney, right here in my Elkton office. We're going to rehash a topic that we talked about a few months ago. And then we talked about it specifically in the context of getting in accidents with big commercial vehicles. I think specifically we might have been talking about Amazon delivery vehicles because we had handled a string of cases where when you get that accident report, it just has the name of a company on and it's not an insurance company, and it ends up turning into this down the rabbit hole, what can I figure out sort of situation. We have handled a lot of those accident cases for y'all since, and we will continue to do so because, again, when we first did that, first time we took on one of those claims, it took us almost a week to track down who the right insurance company was, where the contacts were, how to set up the claim. And keep in mind, that is a week for us in an office where all we do is this type of work. It was that difficult. So if you have no experience in this and no idea where to start, I can't even imagine how long somebody who's not accustomed to tracking down insurance companies and insurance coverage and doing these investigations, how long that would take. And honestly, the system, and I'm not specifically targeting Amazon as a company or any other individual company, but insurance companies love, if they can, and they don't all do this, but many of them realize that there is a balance in the frustration of, if I can frustrate somebody enough to make them go away, it ends up being cheaper. So let's make this system as convoluted and complicated to navigate as possible. So we've talked about that in the past and how our office specifically with that and many, many other commercial companies is right there, ready to go. We've gotten a string recently, and why I'm bringing this topic back up, of accidents involving other types of vehicles where the information on that police report or exchange is equally not helpful. Most recently, we dealt with one involving an out-of-state driver in an out-of-state rental car in an accident here in Maryland. And there was no information about the actual insurance company, no policy number, no nothing when our client received the report. And of course, they end up calling us because we can help navigate this. This is the bottom line. This is the real information that is important when it comes to our state agencies, our local agencies, our law enforcement agencies. They have a bunch of tools at their disposal when it comes to reporting to an accident scene, taking the narrative of the report, putting it into this statement, and providing it to anybody who may be an interested party. But they don't have infinite resources. If you were to get into an accident in the state of Maryland with another driver driving a vehicle in Maryland, registered, they live in Maryland, that officer is going to have access to almost all of the relevant information. But when that's not the case, they don't have access to every system in the entire country, nor are all of those systems exactly the same. In fact, they're not even close to the same. That, in some states, like here in Maryland, there is a service that we can use. There is a software that we can subscribe to. This is as attorneys, you as normal lay people in won't have access to this, but we can have access. We have access to stuff that will allow us to literally just send a license plate into the Maryland Motor Vehicle Administration. It's a little bit more convoluted than this, but basically we send it to them. They spit out insurance information. I can send a driver's license number into this system and get any vehicle that's associated, whether it's a registration or they're insured by it. and some of it even past history, but not for out-of-state drivers, not for out-of-state vehicles. So what happens in that situation, because when the officer shows up and they collect, license and registration and the insurance cards and everything, if there's an accident, they will look in the system and try to verify that the best that they can. Well, if it's out of state, they're not going to be able to verify it. But ultimately, they're working off of what they are given at the scene by the other driver. So if that other driver's out of state, and if they're driving a rental car, if you've ever driven a rental car, there's not an insurance card in the glove box. You have your rental contract, and nobody can read that. So even if it had accurate information on it, nobody can read it. Try it. Go dig up a rental contract if you've rented a car anytime recently that you still have the paperwork around. And believe me, it's chicken scratch. So that officer's not highly unlikely to be able to get that information if it's even there. Imagine a scenario, because that a lot of people don't like to buy the extra insurance at the rental car company. I have my own insurance. Well, you're not carrying that with you. You keep that in your car. Most people do. Sometimes people have a copy. Sometimes people have it on their phone. But for the most part, that information is not getting transferred. So now we've got to take all that information and dig. Use our network with other attorneys, other resources. It all depends on the state. Like, I literally could do a different episode of this podcast for each and every state in the US, because the systems are all different. None of them match up, and it could be a hot mess. So I bring this up to mention, to reiterate that we are a valuable resource in helping you establish these claims, finding out who needs to pay these claims, leveraging insurance companies and their resources, because insurance companies oftentimes have access across the US. It all depends on the company. Some of them have access to everything in every market. It almost seems unfair. There are many, many advantages that the insurance companies have over you when it comes to handling these claims. So make sure that you have advantages in your court, like Bowers Law. That's all I have for you today. Just wanted to let you know that those things, you are not losing your mind. If you feel like it's super complicated and you just are spinning your wheels and can't get anywhere with respect to finding the insurance information, whether it be a rental car, a ride share, a delivery vehicle, a big commercial truck, or other commercial vehicle, that stuff is layered. And it's going to be complicated to find, kind of like one of those little nesting dolls sometimes in the scavenger hunt that it is to find the accurate insurance information. Let us take it off your hands. Let us figure that out. As always, if you have questions for the podcast, info@bowerslawmd.com. That's the best way to do it. I believe very, very soon we're going to be launching a website for the podcast. We're also going to be launching a website very, very soon. Next week we'll announce, because next week is right before April. During the month of April, we're doing a contest, a drawing. You can win stuff whole month of April. So get ready. We'll have the ability for you to submit your insurance policy to me for the absolutely free review and report card. Whole month of April. Everybody who enters is going to be one, and anybody who submits and has me do the review will be entered into a drawing for some prizes that are still being accumulated. So it's going to be more than one prize. It's going to be a lot of fun. More importantly, it's free. So have fun. As always, if you want to check out past episodes of the podcast, if you've missed anything, go to bowerslawmd.com. Until we have that dedicated podcast page, just go here at the top, navigate to where it says podcasts. You're going to see an entire list of all the past episodes. You could search it, navigate it, all sorts of information, years of information. I've been doing this podcast almost 2 years now, maybe more than 2 years. I don't remember exactly when I started it. Maybe we will go back and figure that out. But that's all the time I have for you. Be safe, be well out there. Till next week, we will see you.